He was found in a glacier, frozen in time for 5,000 years.
Wolf's head was found completely preserved by permafrost in eastern Siberia.
Explorers can make some pretty wild discoveries, but things get even crazier when they uncover something unusual frozen in ice.
This wolf carcass was frozen in permafrost for around 44,000 years.
So join me in this video, where I'll take you through 30 shocking discoveries researchers made frozen in ice. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Number 1. Ötzi, the Iceman. On September 19th, 1991, a German tourist, Helmut Simon, was exploring the Simmelon Glacier of the Ötztal Alps. During his adventure, Simon encountered something very unexpected. He noticed that a humanoid-looking object had been exposed from the melting glacier. It turns out it was the body of a human, and not just any human, a 5,300-year-old person from 3300 BCE. The body was well preserved due to unique circumstances, especially being buried in the ice for thousands of years, which allowed all the markings and other features of the body to remain intact. The frozen mummy was later named Ötzi the Iceman, who was supposedly murdered during the Copper Age. The scientists who examined Ötzi's body discovered an arrowhead inside his left shoulder. He must have succumbed to his injuries and lay in a small rocky hollow, which was later covered by glacial ice. This naturally formed tomb preserved his body until a tourist finally discovered it, and the rest is history. Ötzi's body gave a ton of information on how the people were back in the ancient era. Moreover, the tattoos on his joints and other parts of the body gave insights into the ancient culture. He was only 5 feet 2 inches tall and died probably at the age of 46. Moreover, Ötzi carried a copper-bladed axe along with other gear which he probably used during hunting. His death is a violent murder mystery that will probably remain unsolved. Number 2. Yuka the Mammoth. Yuka the Mammoth is the perfect specimen to give you a glimpse of what these beasts used to look like thousands of years ago. It's a well-preserved specimen of a baby woolly mammoth around 39,000 years old. Yuka was discovered by local tusk hunters along the Oyogos Yar coast in August 2010. The mammoth earned its name after the nearby village of Yukagir, where it was discovered. After detailed observations, scientists discovered that Yuka was a female mammoth who was around 6 to 11 years old at the time of her death. A great part of her body was still intact, including the fur, which kept its reddish color even after so many years. Unknown predators were probably the reason behind her death because her upper torso and legs showed signs of gnawing from predators. Thankfully, researchers were able to extract blood from Yuka, which is definitely a significant achievement that might bring these extinct animals back to life. Number 3. Dinosaur Bones. Off the coast of Antarctica lies James Ross Island, where a team of geologists, Eduardo Olivero and Robert Scasso, from Argentina in 1986, discovered the incomplete remains of a dinosaur. To be specific, the remains of the ankylosaur. The excavation of such a rare find took almost a decade, thanks to the harsh weather and the solid, icy grounds, which made it impossible to excavate without machinery. Now, before we go further, let me tell you a little bit about the specimen itself. Ankylosaurs were a species of herbivorous dinosaurs with a distinctive body structure. They had an extremely strong upper body, similar to turtles, but other than just protection, this armor was also a weapon against other predator species. Their skulls were relatively small and had large, leaf-shaped teeth adapted for a herbivorous diet. Moreover, their tail was the ultimate weapon. It had a somewhat flat structure, covered with spikes, which caused significant damage to the opponent when endangered. The geologists who found the remains of the specimen concluded that all of this material actually came from a single dinosaur, which was spread over 6 square meters. The skeleton was also extremely worn out. After all, it was probably at least 70 million years old. The discovery of Antarctopelta gave profound knowledge about these creatures, which is a significant leap towards understanding the time before the dinosaurs vanished by the meteorite. Number 4. Alen Hills, 84,001. On December 27, 1984, a team of American meteorite hunters from the ANS-MET project discovered a meteorite known as ALH84001 in the Alen Hills region of Antarctica. The meteorite weighed around 1.93 kilograms, and after prolonged research, it was classified as a Martian meteorite mainly because of its similarity to other space rocks with origins from Mars. The researchers believe these meteorites were blasted off the planet's surface due to a massive impact from an asteroid almost 16 million years ago. These space rocks then found their way to our planet after orbiting the Sun for millions of years. To make the discovery even more intriguing, a team of NASA scientists, led by David McKay, found fossilized bacteria-like life forms that must have originated on Mars. The rock also contained organic compounds that provide a great deal of information about the composition of the Martian surface. Number 5. Tari mummies. The Tari mummies are a truly remarkable discovery in China's Tarim Basin, offering one of the most captivating glimpses into the vastness of ancient history. These mummies were first discovered in the early 20th century. The researchers were left stunned by the discovery of these well-preserved mummies, which is truly fascinating because the most well-preserved mummies have only been found in Egypt. After extensive research, the mummies were determined to be at least 4,000 years old. The bodies had striking Caucasian features, boasting blonde hair and high cheekbones. Moreover, the intricate wool garments on the deceased showcased the culture and tradition of this ancient civilization. One of the mummies was called the Beauty of Xiaohe because her well-preserved remains continue to intrigue researchers. These mummies tell the tale of a lost civilization that once stepped foot on this land, and now all that remains of them are their lifeless bodies. Number 6. Ancient viruses. Tibetan glaciers have unveiled a terrifying treasure of ancient viruses, some dating back to 15,000 to 41,000 years. The researchers have extracted many viral genomes from ice cores taken from the Gulia Glacier in the Tibetan Plateau. These viruses are the real deal, mainly because today's science has never observed such viruses before. This discovery has opened a window into how viruses have evolved and adapted over millennia. Moreover, it takes us several steps closer to understanding how these viruses affected the ancient ecosystem, which has rapidly changed. Number 7. Millionyearold DNA. Recently, scientists extracted the oldest DNA from the molars of mammoths that roamed Siberia over 1 million years ago. These gigantic beasts' remains were well preserved thanks to the region's permafrost. This extremely cold temperature kept the specimens all nice and frozen, creating a time stop while the rest of the world faced centuries over centuries of evolution. According to scientists, extracting DNA from this mammoth's teeth was like solving a jigsaw puzzle, but it was 1,000 times more complex. The oldest specimen, the Krestovka mammoth, dates back approximately 1.2 million to 1.65 million years, completely obliterating the record held by a horse whose DNA dates back 700,000 years. Number 8. 3,000-year-old arrows. The archaeologists in Norway's Jotunheimen Mountains discovered remains of ancient wooden arrows equipped with quartzite tips. The arrows emerged from the ice after it started to melt in patches, revealing the things buried deep inside it for thousands of years. This caught everyone off guard and immediately took over the internet once the discovery was made public. The researchers determined that these artifacts must have been at least 3,000 years old, dating back to the Stone Age or early Bronze Age. One significant find was made by the glacial archaeologist Espen Finstad, who came across a complete arrow with its quartzite arrowhead. Intriguing, the feather fletchings of the arrow were still intact. It was undoubtedly one of the greatest and most well-preserved arrows ever found. Number 9. Shackleton's Whiskey. If you're an adventure enthusiast who loves to travel to extreme places like Antarctica, you must know about Shackleton's Hut, which once served as a base for the teams during extensive expeditions to reach the South Pole. This hut served as a crucial shelter, and honestly, it was the only hope for the crew to survive the harsh weather. Once the expedition was completed, the hut was abandoned, still containing most of the supplies left behind by the crew, frozen in time. Now that you know the historical context, let's fast forward to 2006, when a team made a fascinating discovery beneath the ice of the historical Shackleton's Hut. The team found 5 crates of intact Scotch whiskey and brandy that were left behind during Shackleton's Nimrod expedition from 1907 to 1909. These bottles were most likely rations for the crew, providing the luxury of warmth and comfort during the harsh Antarctic winters. It became a crucial discovery that reflected the past of the brave crew that risked their lives to reach the destinations that no one else dared to step foot on. Number 10. Frozen fish. Would you like to see something you'll probably never witness in your lifetime? Well, 2 lucky fishermen managed to capture just that. Alex and Anton Babich were ice fishing in Ontario when they stumbled upon a rare sight: a pike frozen in the ice mid-meal, attempting to swallow a bass. Their video quickly went viral, leaving viewers stunned by the unbelievable scene. The pike's open mouth was barely above the frozen water, with the base still caught in its jaws. It was as if time had stopped for these 2 fish, a truly mind-blowing and rare encounter. Number 11. Lost Viking Town. In the beautiful Jotunheimen Mountains of Norway lies Lenbreen, where recently a lost chapter of the ancient Viking civilization was unveiled. As the glaciers started to melt due to the rapid change in climate, an entire Viking settlement was unearthed. The researchers figured that this place once belonged to the vicious Vikings through the site's geological history, and that the evidence was there right in front of their eyes. The site still had the remnants of sledges, clothing, and household items, indicating that it was a bustling settlement during the Viking Age, around 750–1150 AD. Through the initial surveys, archaeologists discovered many possible house ruins, and after extensive excavation, the structures were finally confirmed to be remnants from the Viking Age. Number 12. 1,500-year-old rope. In Mongolia, a team of scholars from the University of Colorado, in collaboration with numerous other partners, made fascinating discoveries in this high mountainous region. Thanks to the melting ice patches that once worked as deep freezers for countless artifacts, they have finally opened their doors for us. Among these remarkable discoveries, the team found a finely woven piece of animal hair rope in western Mongolia. Upon extensive research, the rope was estimated to be at least 1,500 years old, which is quite fascinating, telling us how people back then used to create their everyday stuff. The rope was found in extremely good condition, giving a ton of insights. Along with that, the team found enormous other artifacts, including spears, arrows, and even the skeletal remains of different animals. The entire area holds great importance in the archaeological society, as it's enriched with buried ancient items still waiting to be discovered. Number 13. Time Traveler. But this isn't the first time such an old thing has been found in Mongolia. In fact, in 2017, about 1,100 years old women's clothes and boots were found frozen in ice in Mongolia. The clothes and shoes were woven in a perfect manner, which surprised everyone, because this kind of weaving was not possible in that time. The coat even had detailed embroidery over it, which made everyone think that the owner of these clothes might have been a time traveler. There are many theories about this finding, but time traveling simply doesn't explain anything. Number 14. Hidden ecosystem beneath ice. Recently, a team of researchers exploring the world beneath Antarctica's ice made a groundbreaking discovery. Initially, the team wasn't expecting to find anything, but they couldn't have been more wrong. They drilled into the ice approximately 1,740 feet below the surface, and then used a camera to explore the cavern. They observed that the underground water was divided into multiple layers, flowing in different directions. The researchers were pretty much sure that there would be no signs of life at such a depth, but it turned out that strange creatures do exist even under such circumstances. Their camera captured tiny, shrimp-like creatures known as amphipods lurking beneath the ice, creating an entire ecosystem very different from the rest of the world. At this point, the world is beyond complex, and that's why we should always expect the unexpected. Number 15. Giant egg. Back in 2011, Chilean scientists stumbled upon a unique-looking fossil in Antarctica. The fossil was nicknamed the Thing, but upon further investigation, it was found to be a giant soft-shell egg dating back 66 million years. The egg itself is quite large, measuring approximately 11 by 7 inches, making it the largest soft-shell egg ever discovered. In fact, it's the second largest egg of any animal ever to live on Earth. The talented researchers from the University of Texas further elaborated on the details regarding the egg, such as determining that it belonged to an extinct marine reptile.
7 millimeters long and 2.5 millimeters wide at the largest.
The egg may be large, but it resembles lizards and reptiles in the modern era. This discovery also supports the theory that animals have evolved over millions of years, threatening numerous claims against these beliefs. Number 16. Lake Vostok. Want to see one of the most interesting lakes in the world? Well, for that, you have to travel to Antarctica, where Lake Vostok resides. It's the largest subglacial lake, and more importantly, the largest freshwater lake in the world. The lake is nestled beneath the East Antarctic ice sheet, which is approximately 4 kilometers below the surface and measures about 250 kilometers in length and 50 kilometers in width. Scientists believe that Lake Vostok was formed millions of years ago and filled with fresh meltwater from the ice sheet. Water is believed to be home to different living organisms that have evolved in isolation for millions of years. Lake Vostok is a great subject for research purposes, and scientists are sure that studying this natural wonder will benefit humanity greatly. Number 17. Glossopteris Fossils. During the famous Terra Nova expedition from 1910 to 1913, led by the explorer Captain Robert Falcon Scott, made some very remarkable discoveries during his adventure. He unearthed Glossopteris fossils in Antarctica's Beardmore Glacier. If you don't know, the Glossopteris were ancient trees that thrived during the Permian period about 299 to 251 million years ago.
This is the first evidence of a very important plant called Glossopteris, and the Scott Party were the first people to find evidence of this in Antarctica.
These trees spread across the supercontinent Gondwana, a theory that Antarctica was once connected to other continents. This discovery backends the theory by highlighting that this icy region may have once been warm, where greenery flourished like any other part of the Earth. Number 18. Fish Nursery. Just a few years ago, a group of scientists discovered one of the largest breeding colonies of fish in the world. You'll be surprised to know that it is actually located beneath the Weddell Sea in Antarctica. It's estimated that the colony contains at least 60 million nests of ice fish covering a massive area of 93 square miles. Each of the nests is known to be guarded by an adult ice fish, protecting 1,700 eggs from predators. The colony is located in just the right part of the waters where the temperature is suitable, creating an ideal environment for life to flourish. Number 19. Frozen woolly rhino. A team discovered an Ice Age-era woolly rhino in the Abyssky region of Yakutia in northeastern Russia. Most of the rhino's limbs and internal organs were still intact. Moreover, it was well preserved in the ice, not letting it age for thousands of years. The experts believe that this rhino must have been between 20,000 and 50,000 years old, dating back to the Pleistocene era. Thankfully, a great deal of the rhino's soft tissue survived, and a small nasal horn was also preserved, which is a miracle in itself, as it decomposes rather quickly. Its horn had several marks, indicating that it got worn out due to extensive use when it was still alive. This was the second rhino discovered in the same region. Previously, they found one named Sasha, who was estimated to be at least 34,000 years old. Well, now we have another one, which is enough to make the researchers very happy. Number 20. Frozen cave lion cubs. In the cold region of Siberia, scientists unearthed two well-preserved cave lion cubs named Boris and Sparta. The cubs, like the rhino, were estimated to be between 43,448 and 28,000 years old, dating back to the Ice Age era. These cubs are known to be the most well-preserved specimens ever found. In fact, Sparta even retained her whiskers.
We hope we'll also find some of its mother's milk to better understand her diet.
After careful observation, the scientists determined that these poor cubs were only 1 or 2 months old at the time of their deaths, but the exact cause of their deaths remains hidden. It's pretty much possible they were bruised under the ice after a natural disaster completely covered the cave and froze it for thousands of years. Number 21. Frozen foal. A group of mammoth tusk hunters in the Batagaika crater stumbled upon a well-preserved 42,000-year-old foal. The horse was named Sasha. Its skin, hooves, tail, and even hair on its body were still intact. A truly remarkable discovery that intrigued not only the scientists, but the entire world as well. Numerous institutes, including Russia's Northeastern Federal University and South Korea's Suum Biotech Research Foundation, heavily researched the specimen. They successfully extracted liquid blood and urine samples from an ancient horse that died during the Ice Age. A sad end for the poor being. I wonder if we can ever see these horses alive again. I mean, scientists have tried bringing back extinct animals before, so this shouldn't be impossible either. Number 22. Frozen wolf head. If you want to see something terrifying, well, then take a look at this. It's a massive wolf head that was unearthed in the permafrost of Yakutia, Russia. The specimen is known to be at least 32,000 years old, and it still contains most of its fur, along with brain tissue. Even though the researchers only got a head, it was still more than enough for them to study it and learn about the kind that lived in ancient times. Number 23. Mummified wolf. Now, a head is one thing, and finding a whole 44,000-year-old wolf is another thing. The discovery was made in 2021 in Yakutia, Russia, by the locals. Albert Protopopov, head of the Department for the Study of Mammoth Fauna at the Yakutia Academy of Sciences, says that this is the first ever discovery of a Pleistocene predator.
Now conducting an autopsy on the ancient wolf to gain insight into the region during the Ice Age.
Even though the wolf was found in 2021, it wasn't until June 2024 that scientists finally got to study the carcass. The reason why this discovery is so important is that commonly found fossils or carcasses are of herbivorous animals. This is why scientists haven't been able to thoroughly study the predators from the past. Number 24. Frozen bird. Here's yet another fascinating discovery made by a team of researchers in Siberian permafrost. This time, they uncovered an Ice Age bird estimated to be between 44,000 and 49,000 years old. The bird, found near the village of Belaya Gora, left researchers astonished due to its remarkable preservation. Most of its soft tissues and feathers were still intact, offering an excellent opportunity for detailed genetic analysis. Number 25. Frozen bear. A group of reindeer hunters on Bolshoi Liakovsky Island came across a 3,460-year-old brown bear frozen in time in the Siberian permafrost. Unlike the previous discoveries, this bear was not a child, but rather a fairly decent-sized one that retained its fur, claws, teeth, and internal organs. Initially, it was mistaken for a cave bear from the Ice Age, but further analysis revealed it to be only a few thousand years old. Still a fascinating find. How this bear ended up on the island and the cause of its death remain a mystery, one we may never fully uncover. Number 26. Ancient plant. Back to life after 30,000 frozen years. This is one of those activities that just shows how capable science is of bringing things back to life. The plant you see may look very normal, but you'll be surprised to know
a hint at the tantalizing possibility of resurrecting extinct species in the future.
That it actually sprouted from 32,000-year-old seeds. Scientists successfully grew these seeds, making it a significant feat in the scientific community. The plant is Silene stenophila, the seeds of which were discovered in a squirrel's hibernation burrow near the Kolyma River in Siberia. Most of the seeds were damaged, but a few survived, and now they're brought back to life. Number 27. Bdelloid rotifer survives 24,000 years, frozen in Siberia. Recently, a team of researchers revived a roundworm species known as Panagrolimus columensis, which was found in permafrost in Siberia, frozen for 46,000 years.
Petri dish with a piece of permafrost. The sample is thawed slowly at room temperature.
This worm is the longest surviving living thing, having been discovered in a fossilized squirrel burrow. The scientists revived the worms by rehydrating them in a lab. The poor guy must have been very thirsty. This discovery highlighted how stubborn worms can be. Thanks to their survival capabilities, they can even survive for thousands of years. Number 28. Frozen pollen. A team of researchers analyzed ancient frozen pollen from the Canadian Arctic. The discovery revealed crucial details about the historical changes in forest ecosystems over thousands of years.
Sample those strata using shallow drilling devices. The fossils that we sampled in shell drill are all microscopic.
The well-preserved pollen, dating back to the last ice age, shows shifts in vegetation due to climate change, offering insights into how current climate change may impact future forest dynamics and biodiversity. That's it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.